Hello and welcome back. This chapter should give you a little sense of achievement, I hope, because with the end of this chapter, we would mark the end of the first unit in our syllabus, Business and its Environment, which is chapter number 5, which is called Stakeholders. Okay, now stakeholders is probably one of the most crucial topics of the entire syllabus, as you will see how this whole chapter unfolds, that how pretty much in every discussion that you have in any department, in any question that you be asked in your exam, will have an element of stakeholders, and you will be forced to think about this special group of people that the business should be mindful of. So that's what we're going to focus on in this chapter. Let's get cracking. So stakeholders is not any one person, it's not one company, it's a group of people. It could be a group of companies that collectively form this special group that a business always has interactions with. And basically, whenever business, as you will remember in our earliest chapter, that we described what business activity is, starting with identify customer needs, buying resources, combining them into goods or services, and then selling them for a profit. Throughout this process, a business is never alone, right? A business is an entity, it's on paper, but when they deal with everyday activities, buying things, selling things, hiring people, reinvesting, a lot of those activities are done in coordination with other people. So for example, when you have to buy raw materials, you won't always go and grow them on your own. You will buy them from a supplier. When you need money, you won't always put down your own money. You will get that money either from a bank or some investor who might be interested in your business idea. So you're always dealing with people who have an impact, whether it's direct or indirect, on them whenever a business does anything in its everyday business activities. That group is called the stakeholder group. And the reason why it's called a group is because there are at least 7 different stakeholders that we should know about in our course. Actually 8, now that I remember. Okay, government, owners, competitors, suppliers, employees, of course, customers, the community, people around you, and finally, your banks or your lenders, people who you go for money. Okay, now, sort of looks like a nice football formation, and I would have confidence in this team winning it. But what I'm trying to establish here is that there are all these people who, whatever activity the business takes, whatever decision the business takes, it may just be one step. For example, a business decides to open up another branch. And that's a simple decision taken internally by a business, but it will have implications. It will have impact or effects on multiple stakeholders. For example, when I need to open a new branch, I will need money. Who will I go to? I'll either go to my owners or my banks or lenders. So that is 2 stakeholders in one decision. On top of that, I'll need to hire more labor to run that branch. That means employees and potential employees, which will come from my community, they are alerted, so they are affected. At the same time, when I open a new branch, I will need more supplies, more raw materials. So my suppliers are also affected. So, and of course, customers would be impacted too positively because there are more branches to go to. So different ways where each stakeholder is impacted by a single decision by a business. And whenever business has to, of course, make decisions, they know these people are going to be affected. You can't always make everyone happy. Okay, like you will sometimes something like the company decides that in order to serve the customers better, we're going to stay open for 4 more hours at night. Okay, now that's good for the customers, but the employees are going to question, okay, why? What happened to my work-life balance? I have a family. I need to go home. So it's not really motivating for them. So one simple decision could have both positive or negative impacts on stakeholders. And that's the real delicate balance that a business has to maintain, that how do we move forward while keeping most of our stakeholders happy most of the time, because you can't make them happy, all of them, all the time. So compromises will have to be made. And how you decide in the end is You see the pros and cons of the situation. Okay, in some situations, one stakeholder might be more important than the other one. For example, there is a quality issue at your restaurant, and you know the customer is ready to post stuff online, and once it gets on social media, then you know that's bad news. So maybe in that situation, you need to comfort the customer more and maybe talk to the employee later if a mistake was made. So to make decisions, see what the best possible outcome in that situation is, and then take it case by case. Okay, now hopefully we understand the concept now, but we're going to look at a little bit more detail in what each of these stakeholders mean for a business. And there's a couple of things that I want you to remember to absolutely understand the concept of stakeholders. And those two things are that all businesses will have certain responsibilities towards these stakeholders, meaning things that they should provide to these stakeholders. And also, a business will have certain expectations from a business, which is their rights. So in my next slide, I'm going to talk about stakeholders through these two concepts, the rights of a stakeholder and the responsibility of a stakeholder, to fully understand how the relationship between a business and these stakeholders operate.
Quick pause. If you're finding value in this explanation, there's so much more to discover. At Alt Academy, we break down every A-level concept with the same level of clarity. Now, let's continue.
Now you will see here in this little web that the business is surrounded by all these stakeholders that we discussed in our last slide: community, government, supplier, customers, banks, competitors, workers, and shareholders. And the relationship is defined by a couple of words: rights and responsibilities. Meaning the business will have certain expectations from these stakeholders, and the stakeholders will have certain expectations from the business. And as long as they can have a two-way street, two-way communication, give or take, they will both survive well together. And I want to look at a few of these stakeholders together with you guys through the eyes of these rights and responsibilities to understand what that really means. And let's start with, what do you say, customers? Okay. Customers are important, we know that, and all businesses are always looking for more and more customers. That means more sales for them. Now, when a business is dealing with these customers, of course, the customers, whenever you go to a shop, okay, let's say a restaurant, for example, you will require some things from them, some things that you will say are your rights for asking from a business. Things such as quality. Right? When you want to go to a restaurant, you want good meat, good veggies. How about a fair price? Okay? I'm not saying everything should be cheap, but it should be fair to what the business is offering. Okay? Everybody likes choices, right? Baskin Robbins understands that. 32 flavors. We still don't know what the mystery flavor is, but at least it's a choice. And let's say maybe they want to have a returns policy. You want to go to, let's say, a clothing brand, and something doesn't fit you so well when you come home and check it out. So, that's a good option to have to be able to return it. Now, these are the things that we as customers would like to have from the businesses that we are dealing with. And if the business provides that, then the customer will be a happy customer, a loyal customer. They will keep coming back, and it will keep bringing in the revenue that the business craves. In return, of course, customers also have certain responsibilities towards the business. And the first thing is, of course, they are the ones that bring in the revenue. Okay, so that's where they're important for the business. Secondly, especially in restaurant business, right? Like if you're providing good quality, you would expect your customers to say so and write so if they're going to do so on the social media pages or wherever they talk about word of mouth to other people about your business. You would want them to give you a fair review. Okay? If you like it, that's good. If you don't like it, that's also fine. Just tell us about it. Okay, so there are certain things definitely that the business expects from the customer, and in return, the customers expect them from the business. And as long as both of them understand each other and they continue providing these to one another, the business will continue to work with the stakeholder group very comfortably. Okay, how about we look at another one? Workers. Yeah. So workers, as we know, are one of the core resources of a business. And what workers expect from a business, what their rights are perhaps a fair salary. I'm not saying give me more than what I deserve, but a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. Right? You want to be given opportunities to grow. So promotion and things like that. Motivation, good working conditions, perks, things like that, fringe benefits. All workers want more of those, right? Nobody would say no to that. I'm sure you are the same. What else? Let's say when you go to a training, right? You want to develop your skills, so you are hoping that the business is one that will help you grow as a worker. In response, of course, the business will expect the workers to be, let's say, on time, firstly. Okay, provide their enterprise. So whatever ideas, whatever skills they have, apply it to the business, and keep company secrets. Right? Think about KFC. If they tell you what they put in their chicken, then what will they be doing on their own? So they have to keep certain things a secret so that the business can keep its USP intact. And apart from that, let's say innovation, I guess close to enterprise, but innovation is also something that the business would expect from their workers. So again, a give and take relationship. As long as both parties understand each other, the stakeholder relationship will be working very, very smoothly. Right? So we're establishing a little bit of a pattern here. Let's look at another one. Shareholders are an important stakeholder for a business. So let's talk about them this time around. Shareholders. Now, of course, shareholders have certain rights. First of all, they expect to be informed about the company performance. Right? If you're doing badly, guys, tell them. If you're not doing so well, if you're doing well, if you're not doing so badly, if you're doing well, that's especially a time to tell them. They expect what we call dividends, right? A return on their investments. You've taken their money in your time of need. Now they expect to be paid for that favor, so that is the concept of dividends. Also, they want to have some decision-making powers. Yeah, that's the reason why people take the equity side and not the loan side, because they want to have some control, some say in the everyday running of a business. In return, what shareholders are supposed to provide to a business is, of course, investment. That's what the main purpose of a stakeholder, of a shareholder is. Also, guidance. In the end, the shareholders are the people who decide upon the future direction of a business, and that's where the managers and everyone will be looking for good guidance, expertise coming from the shareholders so that they can set themselves on the right path. So again, give and take. As long as both understand each other, this relationship will continue to grow. I'm going to look at one more with you guys before we wrap this up, and let's look at the government. Okay, often government is not a very liked stakeholder because of the simple reason that you have to keep paying them. And that's the first right of a business, or first right of a government from a business, is that they will, of course, be collecting their taxes. So taxation will come within it. Additionally, the government will also expect you to create jobs, right? They will be providing an environment for you where you can operate your business. So they will expect that you also help the economy in return by creating jobs for the unemployed. Also, to some extent, they will try to ask you to take some part in social welfare, which we've learned CSR is one of the objectives of a business. And since the government expects it, that's a good objective to also have for a business, right? Now, in return, there's certain responsibilities that the government has towards a business. And of course, it starts with proper infrastructure. So roads, railway, gas, electricity, all that should be provided by the government. Good policies that encourage perhaps exports. That way the business earns and the economy grows together. On top of that, yes, one more thing is that they also provide grants or expertise or advice to the smaller businesses. So that's also something that the smaller business will expect from government as a stakeholder. And in another form, they're also given tax breaks. So maybe not pay tax for first 2 years of your operation. Once you're more stable, that's when you can start paying. That sort of policy is called tax breaks. So that's also something that the government could provide for small businesses to grow. So again, give and take, back and forth, two-way street. The business will have smooth relationship with its stakeholder. So I hope by now you guys understand better what it means when we discuss stakeholders with a business in the middle and how it's constantly trying to shape its growth by keeping everyone happy at different times. I will encourage that you try doing the other four stakeholders on your own. Think about the rights, think about the responsibilities, try to fill it up, and I will put up this as a side post, and you can check out whether your answers were right or wrong. But in any case, stakeholders, I hope you guys fully understand that now. Thank you.
Now that that's taken care of, head on over to altacademy.org to watch the rest of our A-Levels business videos. Over 60,000 students have already taken the leap. What are you waiting for?